bubba me, hubba bubba you.
Step back in time to the 1980s. A decade of bold flavors and quirky snacks that defined a generation. Remember when soda tasted like bubblegum and breakfast oatmeal had swirls of jelly? This was an era when snacks were as colorful and imaginative as the cartoons on TV. Today, many of these treats have vanished from store shelves, but their nostalgic charm remains alive in our memories. Join us as we explore 11 old-school snacks from the 1980s you can't find anymore. A delicious trip down memory lane. Get ready for a dive into the 1980s, when even sodas seemed to come straight from a candy store. Hubba Bubba Soda was a bold attempt by the gum brand to bring its iconic flavor to carbonated drinks. Imagine opening a can and feeling that unmistakable pink bubblegum scent explode in the air. It wasn't exactly a refined flavor explosion, more like a sweet, artificial, and fun wave that mainly pleased kids and teens at the time. But the novelty didn't last long. The drink had a short life, disappearing from shelves before the 90s even began. Still, the soda's visual and sensory impact was so striking that it's still remembered today by those who lived through that era. If you look hard enough, you might find a sealed can on eBay, because drinking it now would be an experiment only for the bravest nostalgics. The idea was simple but brilliant. Mix the classic flavor of a peanut butter and jelly sandwich with breakfast oatmeal. Thus, Quaker's PB&J oatmeal swirlers were born. A cup of instant oatmeal with a colorful jelly swirl on top, strawberry, grape, or raspberry. It was the kind of food that made kids beg for a different breakfast. And yes, you wanted to play with your spoon before eating. The success was instant, but like many products of that decade, it simply disappeared. The reason? Nobody knows for sure. Maybe changes in collective taste or new nutritional guidelines for kids. The fact is, swirlers became a legend among brand fans, as remembered as impossible to find. Today, some try to recreate the recipe at home, but the charm of that packaging and the exact texture of the mix, that stayed in the 80s. If you grew up in the 80s, you probably cooled off with a Jell-O pudding pop some summer. Created by the iconic Jell-O brand, this creamy popsicle mixed the flavor of pudding with the convenience of a frozen treat on a stick. It had a smooth texture, rich flavor, and came in chocolate, vanilla, and even swirled options, the favorite of many. Its success was immediate, boosted by campaigns starring Bill Cosby, the brand's spokesperson at the time. But over time, pudding pops lost market space. They were discontinued, briefly relaunched in the 2000s, and then vanished for good. Today, you might find similar products, but the original 80s flavor with that half-frozen, half-pudding texture is a thing of the past. Imagine cookies with smiling faces and creamy fillings that looked like they came straight out of an 80s cartoon. Giggles cookies were exactly that. Fun cookies filled with vanilla and chocolate cream and printed with happy expressions that won the hearts of kids. Despite initial success, these cookies were swallowed by a flood of new brands and products in the following years. There was never an official relaunch, making them a true nostalgic rarity for those lucky enough to have tasted them back then. Who hasn't eaten those super artificial orange cheese balls that stuck to your fingers and gave that distinctive, addictive flavor? Planters cheese balls were the perfect snack for parties, trips, and any moment that called for a crunchy and fun treat. So popular in the 80s, they became an icon of retro culture. But what happened? Well, over time, cheese balls were discontinued, leaving behind fond memories and orange fingers all over the country. Despite nostalgic campaigns and petitions, they never came back in their original recipe, becoming an impossible-to-find classic. In the 80s, Oreo decided to create an oversized version of their classic sandwich cookie, and Big Stuff Oreo was born. A giant cookie with a generous amount of filling made for those who wanted a truly indulgent experience. Sold individually, it was practically a portable dessert. Despite momentary popularity, Big Stuff was officially discontinued in 1991. Since then, fans have asked for its return, but it never came back to shelves, remaining a nostalgic relic from the time when everything was bigger and sweeter. In the 80s, fruit wrinkles were a fun and sweet alternative to traditional raisins. Essentially, they were pieces of dried fruit shaped into colorful, playful forms and packaged as small, healthy treats. Popular in lunchboxes, they won over kids and parents alike for their fun appearance and sweet taste. Over time, the market changed, and these snacks disappeared from shelves. Competition with more modern packaged snacks contributed to their disappearance. Today, fruit wrinkles are a nostalgic object for those who remember childhood lunches. In the 80s, Keebler launched Tato Skins Chips, a snack that promised to be different. Made from potato skins, crunchy with an intense flavor. It was an innovative attempt to use more parts of the potato and create a unique texture that won a loyal audience back then. However, like many novelties of the time, Tato skins ended up left behind. Over the years, competition increased and the snack market changed direction, leaving this curious product off shelves. Today, it is a rare memory for fans of old snacks. Imagine a candy that literally explodes in your mouth, releasing little bursts of flavor and a fizzy sensation. That was Space Dust candy, an even more intense and explosive version of the famous Pop Rocks. In the 80s, it was a hit among kids fascinated by technology and space novelties. However, rumors and controversies about safety led to its ban and disappearance from the market. Today, it's almost impossible to find this candy that sparked so much curiosity and made kids feel like they were really in space. In the 80s, General Mills launched Peanut Butter Boppers, crunchy bars made of crackers filled with peanut butter. They were a big hit for those seeking a practical, tasty snack with that irresistible crunch, ideal for school lunchboxes or a quick pit stop. Despite their popularity, Peanut Butter Boppers were discontinued and never returned to the market, leaving fans nostalgic and trying to recreate the experience at home. Their perfect mix of crunch and sweet flavor became a true lost classic of the retro era. PB Max was a chocolate bar combining crunchiness, peanut butter, and oats, winning the American palate during the 80s. This unique mix offered a complex texture and a flavor that pleased both sweet lovers and snack enthusiasts. Despite success, PB Max was discontinued in the early 90s, and until today, there's been no official relaunch. It's remembered fondly as a retro snack that marked an era but disappeared from shelves, leaving a gap in fans' memories. These old-school snacks from the 1980s may have disappeared from shelves, but they've never disappeared from our memory. And if you were a kid back then, you'll love our video 11 Toys from the 1980s that defined a generation. A list full of unforgettable toys that marked a generation. Check it out now.